Gene Deal's perspective on this Diddy case shows extreme bias and complete animosity to the point where I don't know if I can take him seriously because anybody that take the stand, Gene Deal seems like he's in their corner. He's supporting them like they saying everything that is factual. And I disagree with him in this one. He takes the side of Capricorn Clark as if her mouth is the holy grail of truth.
So the Capricorn Clark situation, man, it was touching because, you know, how you dragging this woman from her house. You using your bodyguards to take her up in an abandoned building to get a polygraph test.
After that, she gonna stick around. Okay, who does that?
That she said that the building doors, somebody opened them from the outside. You had to knock on the door and they gotta open it from the outside to let you out. They was she was terrified. So, and then she was talking about all the abuse with Cassie.
Now, you can get kidnapped by a billionaire, forced to take a polygraph test. Then you was terrified because of the horrors you seen him commit towards Cassie, but you're still gonna stick around just for that check. Are you telling me self-preservation doesn't come before money? Come on now.
What she saw, what Puff did to her, how Puff had a plastic surgeon on speed dial. He had a plastic surgeon on speed dial that he would come, stitch her up, and do all the stuff that he needed to do so she wouldn't scar up after a beating.
Now think about this. The security guards are in cahoots. The plastic surgeon is in cahoots. Everybody around him is covering for him. They have to cover for him. This man is surrounded by at least 10, 15 people all of the time. And you're telling me all of these people that are complacent in his criminal activity and his barbaric behavior, nobody's on trial. Nobody's involved. Nobody's charged. It's just him in a lone RICO act. You telling me they don't have no other witnesses, no bodyguards? Where's the plastics? If any of this stuff was true, there would have to be more people criminally charged. It's the same thing that happened to R. Kelly. All these people that so called enabled him, but nobody's arrested but R. Kelly. You got to raise eyebrows at this stuff. I'm not saying that he's not guilty of his actions, but there are many other people that are just as guilty as him.
She had a very touching testimony.
That's heartbreaking to hear, man. And to go back to what you said earlier, yeah, I mean, she testified that Diddy, accused her of stealing from him. And she testified that he told her that if she failed the polygraph test, he was going to throw her in the East River.
Yeah, that's the only part I didn't say. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that, if you go back and look at it, you know what I'm saying, and they was blaming her for stealing the jury, bruh, he said that, and she testified this on the stand, that she was going to throw him in the East River if she'd have failed the lie detector test.
Come on now. Think about how that sounds. This is a billionaire saying this in front of two bodyguards, witnesses, material witnesses.
Man, come on, bruh.
Where the bodyguards? Why didn't she name the bodyguards? They complacent in this. They are just as guilty as Diddy. Where they at?
If that ain't no gangster if you talking about that ain't racketeering, mob style stuff, you got to be out your mind, man.
See, this guy wants Diddy convicted of that racketeering. He'll say anything that makes Diddy looks guilty for some reason. This man has deep-rooted hatred for him. He can't stand Diddy, but think about it. Gene Deal worked for Diddy for 14 years. Do you think Diddy behavior wasn't the same as it was during the Cassie years when Gene Deal wasn't around? Gene Deal was just like the security guards that took Capricorn to that warehouse. He covered things up for Diddy. He did things to people for Diddy. he was just as foul as Diddy. And now he's sitting here calling the pot black when he's the blackest kettle of them all. Gene Deal's a phony. I don't like him. I don't respect him. He'll say anything to make Diddy look guilty. Even if Diddy is guilty, this man has no integrity and he's just as corrupt as Diddy. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Do you trust Gene Deal or do you think Gene Deal is just as crazy as Diddy?